Okay. Slowly getting used to that. Alrighty. So equipment you're going to need today is the usual, a letter ball of some sort. If you don't have a letter ball, you can always use a rolled up pair of socks. Remember something preferably exciting for your eyes to look at. Yeah, or your letter ball, and then just two pencils, two cooking utensils, your thumbs, just something easy, easy for you to hold. Barbara, that shirt is amazing. Oh, I love that so much. Okay. Oh yeah, and then let me just do my normal reminders. I always forget this part. Yeah, and then as a reminder for this class, when we get into the visual vestibular work, be mindful to move at your own pace. Listen to your body. We're going to do just a couple new things today. So remember, whenever we're doing something new with the visual vestibular system, to move slow at first. If you feel dizzy, nauseous, tired eyes, itchy eyes, anything like that, that's okay, but it means that you've met your edge. So just back off, take a break, and grab some water. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Saradon, thank you for that reminder. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We're going to come back to a seated or standing grounding position of some sort. I'm going to tilt this down a little bit. There we go. Okay. Okay. And before we close the eyes, we're just going to start like last week. So I just want you to take a look around the room or whatever space you're in. I want you to look above you, below you, and I want you to maybe notice 5 objective things like, okay, there's 3 windows in the room I'm in. The floor is made of wood. There's a white door behind me. There's 2 photos on the wall. So just noticing objectively, getting used to your space. For folks that are blind or visually impaired, I want you to sense with your hands. You can even bring your hands to the floor to feel the floor. You can bring your hands to your chair to feel your chair behind you. Okay, so whatever it is, but I just want you to get comfortable and objectively start to notice your space. This is actually one way to kind of help calm the nervous system. Okay, and then we'll come back to the center. We'll close the eyes. We'll find the breath. And I just want you to imagine again that room you're in. And I want you to see if you can sense the walls around you, the windows around you. How far is the closest thing in front of you? Can you sense that? Can you place where you are in the room? And then maybe just take, keeping the eyes closed, but just take your arms out to the side, maybe turning to the left and to the right a couple times, bringing your hands up and around. And again, you're just mapping the area around you. So reaching into the space, noticing if there's something under you, maybe there's something to your left or to your right. But just visually mapping that with your eyes closed, kinesthetically mapping that as you reach into space and start to become familiar with that space directly around you. Good. And then we'll still the body again. And then we're going to come more inward. So, can you map out the space inside of your body now? So, I want you to think about the outline that your body has. So, your skin is creating this barrier between you and the room right now. And what is on the inside of your skin? So, just kind of sensing the amount of space your body is taking up, but from the inside out. Connecting to the ground somehow, so feeling your feet on the floor, or your sit bones on the chair, or your back against your chair. And then all of you set your intention for class today. We'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. Okay, good. We're going to take both arms, reaching up towards the sky, interlacing the fingers if you're able to, pushing the palm up towards the sky. Take an inhale and then exhale. Articulate your spine down, rolling all the way down or as close to the floor as you can get. Just hold this here for a second. I want you to walk your fingertips over to the left or kind of scoot your upper body over to the left, whether you're standing or seated, and take a breath into the right ribs. And then walk your fingertips over to the right. Take a breath into the left ribs. And then coming back to the center, rolling yourself back up. Arms will lift back up overhead. Pull the hands behind you, so pulling your wrists backwards if you can, lifting everything up towards the sky. Good. Arms come down. Reaching back behind you, you can interlace the fingers if you're able to, pulling the chest forward, really opening up that front area. And then go ahead and release and shake the hands, shake the arms. Really like you're trying to get water off of your hands and your arms. And then starting to shake the shoulders, letting that shake go through the ribs. If you're standing, letting that shake go through the hips and the legs. Okay, good. And we'll relax. Awesome. Okay, we'll just find a few head circles here. So I don't want you to throw your head back when you're doing this one, but just drawing a circle with your head moving in one direction. For those of you that are fused in the neck, we can do this more from the ribs. So moving the ribs, moving the shoulders kind of around the ribs. Yeah, otherwise we'll stay with the head. And then switch direction. Notice if one side of your neck feels more restricted than the other side. Maybe it's holding a little bit more tension. Good. And we'll place fingertips right at the base of the collarbones, if you can. Yeah. You can use your knuckles too, if that's easier. I just want you to find a gentle tug downward. Okay, so down towards your feet using your knuckles or your fingers. I find if you're able to, I find it's easier to go skin on skin. Sometimes if your clothing is slippery, it's hard to get traction, to really traction some of the skin and that superficial connective tissue, that superficial fascia in this area. Okay, so now I want you to pull that skin down and hold, and then tilt your head up, slide the lower jaw forward, and then stick your tongue out, kind of up towards your nose. And then tuck your chin in, and then stick your tongue out down towards your chin. Pull the skin down, lift your head up, lower jaw forward, tongue up to the nose, and then down, pulling the head down, and then pulling the tongue towards the chin. Let's do one more of each of those. Going up, tilting the head up, lower jaw forward, tongue up, and then head down and tongue down. And then back to the center. Good. I'm gonna have you walk your fingertips over to the side, let's see, to your right side, just under the collarbone, but really more kind of towards your shoulder, like shoulder collarbone area. You can't really go wrong with this. And if it's hard to grip, it's okay. You don't have to grip. And I want you to tilt your head to the left. Just finding that skin pull there. And then walk your fingertips over to the right. Tilting your head. Am I saying this right? Sorry, reverse sides. So walk the fingertips over to the other side, tilt your head away from your fingers, whatever side you're on. I might have said that backwards the first time. Yeah, and go ahead and release that and shake your hands. Yeah, some of you might even find as you do that one, you feel a stretch all the way up into your ears. And that's good to notice too. Okay, so you're gonna grab your earlobes using your hands, or you can use your knuckles into your ear hole. If gripping your earlobes is challenging, go ahead and pull those earlobes back and down. A gentle tug, but enough of a tug where you can really feel the ear pulling back, and just hold that for a sec. Okay, and then release, and then grab the tops of your ears and pull up and back. I'm going to pull a little bit harder than I normally do just because I'm curious. Play with it. Don't pull too hard, but maybe change how much you're pulling or change the angle. Do something slightly different and just see if that resonates with you. Maybe it doesn't feel great. Maybe it feels really good. Yeah, and then release and shake the hands out. Okay, good. Let's just do one quick head scratch here. So using your fingernails or your knuckles, giving your whole head a scratch, getting the sides of your head, the top of your head, back of your head. Okay, and then we'll shake the hands out. I'm gonna have you grab your pencil. We're just gonna do one visual thing in the warm up, and then we're gonna come back to some of this stuff. But this is a good way to warm up some flexion in the spine. We're gonna do pencil push-ups, but we're gonna do it just slightly differently here, and then we're gonna work our way through the rest of the body. So what we normally do with pencil push-ups is we pull that pencil in and out, looking at the tip of the pencil and making sure that tip of the pencil comes right in between the two eyes. Okay, so we're just gonna do it slightly differently today. So holding the, and for folks that are blind or visually impaired, I'm gonna give you something different. Just hang with me for a sec. So holding that pencil at arm's distance, you're gonna find a hum and you're gonna pull the pencil in to your nose. So I want the tip of the pencil to come right to the tip of your nose, and your eyes are looking at it. The same rules apply though. Only pull that pencil in as far as you can where you still only see one pencil. So you're humming, you're gonna hold at the tip of your nose for 5 seconds. Close your eyes at the end of the 5 seconds, and then pull the pencil away from you and repeat. Okay. So looking at the tip of the pencil, hum, as you pull it in, hold at the tip of your nose 5 seconds. Close your eyes and then reset. Okay. You're going to go back and forth, pulling the pencil into your nose and then pulling the pencil in between your eyes. And you're doing the same thing, holding for 5 seconds with the hum, closing your eyes, and then resetting the pencil. Do maybe 3 or 4 of those each. So 3 or 4 for the nose, 3 or 4 in between the eyes. Remember, it's okay if the pencil goes blurry, but I still only want you to see one pencil. So if you can't pull it all the way into your nose, that's okay. And then make sure you're humming as you do this one. Okay, for folks that are blind or visually impaired, we're gonna do the hum and we're just gonna do some head movements instead. So we're gonna find a hum, fingertips are gonna come to that area just under the collarbones. And I want you to find that tapping. And you're gonna start by shaking your head no. So shaking your head left, right, left, right. Yeah, this is for folks that are blind or visually impaired here. You're gonna do maybe 20 shakes left, right, 20 shakes up, down, 10 shakes in each diagonal. Okay. So 20 left, right, 20 up, down, and then 10 shakes in each diagonal. And then for those of you doing the pencil push ups hold, you're doing maybe 3 or 4 of each of those. Yeah, and I'm just going to watch people here. So this is a little different. So we've got 2 cranial nerves that control the pencil push ups. Cranial nerve 3 comes the one in between the eyes, and cranial nerve 4 is to the tip of the nose. Okay, so we're just trying to maximize the stimulation of those nerves in that area. And this is mainly Mainly in your brain stem is where those are coming out of. Okay. I'm going to give you all maybe another 20 seconds or so, but that looks good. Yeah. And if you get again if you get dizzy or you're not feeling good, go ahead and take a break. Humming, holding for 5 seconds. Yeah, that looks good. Awesome. Nice work, everybody. Okay, we can set that pencil down. We're going to play a little bit with that later in class, but I just want you to do a test here, okay? So we're going to bring hands up to the ceiling just like we did in the beginning. Take an inhale and then exhale. Find that same articulating roll all the way down to the ground and just hang out at the bottom for a second again. And notice if anything feels different. Okay, than when we did this in the beginning. So I want you to walk your fingertips slightly over to the left, breathing into the right ribs. Walk your fingertips over to the right, breathing into the opposite ribs. And then coming back to the center, rolling yourself back up. Yeah. And just notice if that felt different for you. Okay, so those pencil push-ups, we do help a lot with flexion. So we're gonna play a little bit with more flexion here. So I want you to give yourself a big hug. Yep. And you're gonna side bend off to the left, rolling through the center, and then coming up on the right. Side bend, roll through the center, and up on the other side. Same thing if you're standing there. With each roll, I want you to get a little bit lower to the floor. And just moving nice and slow, listening to your ribs, listening to your back. Maybe taking an inhale as you start the roll down and an exhale as you come up. Let's just do one more of those. Inhale to come down and exhale to come up. We're going to take hands, placing them behind the head. If it's easier for you, you can bring hands in front of the chest. And we're just going to do basically a seated or a standing sit-up here. So I want you to try to touch your nose to your belly button, rounding your spine, but really actively rounding your spine. How close can you get your nose to your belly button? And then sitting up tall. Yep. Exhale, nose to belly button. Inhale to left. Exhale, nose to belly. Inhale, left. And for those, whether you're seated or standing, I want you to think of curling and tucking your tail under as you bring your nose to your belly button. So your head and your tail should be moving together. Your head and your tail curl towards each other, and then they both lift away from each other. Yep. Head and tail curl, head and tail lift. Let's do 2 more like that. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lift. That's it. Nice work, everybody. Last one. Exhale, curl. And inhale, lift. Good. We'll stay up. Just bring that into a side bend to the left. And a side bend to the right. Side bend left. And side bend right. Good. And then coming back to the center. Awesome. Okay. We'll do some body tapping. So pick an arm, any arm. Oh, wait, sorry. We're going to do this the other way. You're going to work your way, this time going down the inside of the arm, out through your middle finger or your middle knuckle. And then you're going to work your way going up the outside of the arm. Down the inside of the arm. And then up the outside. Just do a few on each side there. Tapping, brushing, rubbing. We'll come across the chest. You can find your gorilla. Beating on the chest. Yeah. And then coming across to the other side. down the inside, giving the middle finger a rub, and then up the outside. Maybe pausing to give the top of your shoulder a tap, as if you were giving yourself a pat on the back. This is an area that can hold a lot of tension. Out through the middle finger. And then back up. Good. Coming across the chest one more time. Let's just do our gorilla one more time. Let your jaw go open. Make it more of an sound. And then more of an E sound. E. And then last one. Ooh. Okay, good. And relax. Okay, give the arms a shake. Okay, working our way down. So let's bring knuckles or a soft fist to the low back. If it's hard for you to reach your low back, you can do more of the sides of your body. And just giving a gentle tap to the low back, to the kidneys area. You can add a hum here too if you'd like. Noticing if one side feels different compared to the other side. And then maybe just taking an open hand and giving that area a rub. And then we'll just bring that right over to the stomach. Sit back down. And we'll find that clockwise circling with our hands around our stomach. I can tell we haven't done this one in a while. I'm a little stiff in here. Yeah. Remember with this one too, especially if you've been doing this a while, if you hit a tender spot while you're circling your hands around, you can always press into that spot, take a big inhale, let your exhale go all the way out, and then move on to another tender spot. As I always say, our organs are often so neglected, but keeping this area mobile and giving this area love can be really important for our organ health, can be important for breath work, for our pelvic floor, for our digestive system, and for our nervous system. There's a lot going on in this area of the body. And notice where your stomach, where your belly doesn't let you sink in. Do you have that moment where your belly kind of tightens up because it doesn't want to be poked? Okay, so maybe being more gentle in those areas. Okay. We'll come to the legs. We'll work our way going down the outside of the legs. Giving the feet a rub if you're able to, and then coming up the inside of the legs. I'm using a fist today because that feels nice. But play with the tool you're using. Open hand, fist, soft fist. More of a karate chop hand. We'll go 3 times through here. Okay. Good. And we're going to come to the tops of our hips. So if you're in a seated position, right where your hip crease is, and you can just take your hand, open hand or closed hand, and I just want you to weight down through that area. And if you're standing, I just want you to give that area a rub. So right in front, we've got a bunch of muscles and tendons that come across this area that often get shortened. Whether you're in a, they're really shortened for many people. I was going to say whether you're in a seated position, but they, I feel like this area nowadays is kind of shortened on everybody. And we're going to come down to your knees if you're able to reach your knees, and then just giving your knees a rub. So I want you to trace the outline of your kneecaps with your hands and just rubbing above the kneecap on either side of the kneecap. If sensation here isn't great for you, that's okay. This work can still be really beneficial for you. Okay. And then we'll come to the ankles. If you can reach the ankles, we're not going to do a full foot rub today, but if you can reach the ankles, just do the same thing. Kind of rub around your ankle bone, that inner and outer ankle bone. Okay, just bringing awareness to that area. Again, whether or not you have sensation here. If it's hard for you to reach your ankles, you can stay with your knees or you can stay with your hips. Okay. And then we'll come up to the elbows. And again, I just want you to kind of trace the outline. So find that pointy part of your elbow and just trace the outline of it. Notice the bony part on the inside of your elbow, also known as your funny bone, even though it's not a bone, it's really a nerve. Yeah. And then we'll do the other elbow. Finding the inside bony part, the outside bony part, and just noticing like, oh, wow, I didn't know that that bone was there. Okay. And then coming to the wrists, giving the wrists a rub and a twist. I'm just grabbing one wrist and kind of circling around it. Feeling for the tendons passing through there, feeling for the bony parts. And then same thing on the other side. If any of you have ever had carpal tunnel, it's that front of the wrist area right in the center where all those tendons get inflamed. So just knowing where the bony parts are, knowing where the nerves are, knowing where the tendons are, more or less. You don't have to have a perfect image of the body, but the more you can feel and sense into that, but the better the map of your body that you're going to have, and hopefully the easier it's going to be for you to move it. Okay, let's give the hands a rub, or the knuckles if that's easier for you. Rubbing the backs of the hands. Okay, and then we'll shake everything out. Awesome. So just sit with that for a second. Just notice how all of your joints feel. How do your wrists and your elbows feel? Your hips, your knees? Yeah, just taking note of that. Okay, I'm gonna have you grab your letter ball of some sort. Need to blow this up. Okay, I'll have you jump right into playing letter ball if you've been playing for a while. If you haven't been playing for a while, I'm just gonna talk you through this. And I'm gonna layer on for folks that have been playing a while. Yeah, so just go ahead and go right into it there. Okay, so holding that ball into your chest, you're gonna pull the ball away from you, any angle around your body that you want. Say the first letter or number that you see, and then pull the ball back into your body. Pull the body out at a different angle, look at the ball, say the first letter or number you see, and then pull it back in. Okay, so you're just gonna repeat pulling the ball in and out, quickly saying the first letter or number you see, and then pulling it back in. If you're able to play catch with yourself, you're gonna throw that ball around you. Same game, saying the first letter or number you see, but making sure that you're really hitting every angle around your body with that ball, up and down, to the side. Okay, for folks that have been playing a while and want to make it a little bit harder, I'm going to layer on, I don't think we've done this before, but I'm going to have you incorporate a little bit of eyes open, eyes closed. So you're going to close your eyes, pull it away from you, Look at the ball, then open your eyes, first letter or number that you see, and then pull it back in, eyes are closed. Away, point your head towards the ball, open the eyes quickly, first letter or number you see, pull it back in. If you're able to play catch with yourself, you're gonna close your eyes as you throw it and open your eyes right as you catch it. Okay, this isn't super easy. You might lose the ball a couple of times, but it's a quick eyes are closed and then eyes are open right before you catch it so you can catch it. Make it easy for yourself. Maybe just throwing it just like a couple inches away from your hands, but doing it with eyes closed at first and then opening your eyes, surprising yourself and saying the first letter number that you see. Yeah. So the more of an element of surprise that you have, the harder it's going to be for your visual system. So it's kind of similar to when you spin it. So you spin it, you spin it, you spin it, and you can't really see it, but it's just a little bit harder because you're having to guess where the ball is gonna be. Yeah, I'm just gonna watch people here for a sec. Yeah, nice. Hmm. You can bounce the ball off the ground, off of a wall. Yeah, and just play with that eyes closed element. Opening right at the last second, guessing where the ball is going to be, and then looking at the ball. Doing the same thing whether you're throwing or moving the ball. Okay. And again, with eyes closed, you're kind of having to sense the space around you like we did in the beginning of class. How much space do I have to catch the ball in front of me? How far is the ground from me if I drop the ball, especially when the eyes are closed? Okay, so just really starting to map that awareness of your body first, and then of that space around you, the floor underneath you, the ceiling above you, the walls around you, if you're indoors. Yeah. Go ahead and do a few more throws, and then we'll place that ball down, and I'll have you grab both of your pencils. Okay, good. So we're just gonna do a bit of near, far, near, far. Let's see, actually I'm gonna stay zoomed into the camera for this one. Okay, so again, folks that are blind or visually impaired, stay with me for a sec. I'm gonna give you something different. For everyone else, you're gonna have pencils out in front of you. Your head is gonna stay facing straight forward, so nose stays forward. And I want those pencils just at a diagonal, one slightly off to the right, one off to the left at eye level. Okay, so I'm gonna look at the left pencil, and I'm looking at the tip of the pencil and then something far in the room, like a photo on the wall behind me or behind the pencil. You're going to go near, far, jumping back and forth, looking at the photo, pencil, photo, pencil, photo, pencil. Let's do 4 jumps each. Near, far is 1, near, far is 2. And then your eyes are going to dart to the other pencil and you're going to do the same thing. Okay. You're going to do that with the pencils at eye height. Then you're going to do it with the pencils above, like at head, the top of your head height. And then you're going to do it with the pencils down. Oh, you can't see me. Down low at like waist height. Okay. And then you're going to go through that again and just keep circling through that for maybe a minute or so. Eye height, up high, and then down low. Near, far, near, far, near, far, switch. Near, far, near, far, near, far, switch. And maybe going back and forth for each one, doing like 4 times, and then moving on to the next level, high and then low. Okay. For folks that are blind or visually impaired, we're just going to bring this more into vestibular work here. So I'm going to have you go, you can still hold the pencils if you want a target for like where your nose is going to be. This is also good for your proprioception. And we're going to be doing those head movements again. So shaking the head in between the two pencils. We're going to stay at eye height, going um, left to right between those two pencils. So shaking the head no. Then you're going to tilt the head up and you're going to do the same thing, shaking the head left to right. And then you're going to bring the pencils down and shake the head left to right. Okay. So your neck is just going to be at 3 different angles as you do this one. Yeah. I'm going to give everybody maybe 30 more seconds or so. And I'm just going to show you so you can see me. And when you're doing the near far, remember, I want you to focus on the thing behind the pencil. And then you focus on the pencil. So make sure you focus on each one. Oops, I just moved my head. Make sure you focus on each one before moving on to the next. I can see the pencil clearly. I see the wall clearly. Pencil clear, wall clear. Back and forth before jumping your eyes to the next pencil. Yeah, try not to move your head, so your nose should be pointing straight forward. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Okay. We'll maybe wrap this one up. So just do a couple more reps. And then we'll shake that off. You can put the pencils down. Let's just find a body reset here. So we'll close the eyes, let the head hang heavy, and just find an articulating roll down to the ground. Take a couple of breaths into the back of your ribs at the bottom. And on your next exhale, slowly roll yourself back up. Okay, good. Good. Let's just bring a little bit more spine movements into this here. So hands can stay on your lap. And I just want you to find a hula hooping of your ribs around your pelvis. Yeah, if you want to do more of the hula hooping from your hips, if you're standing, that's good too. And see if you can keep those ribs and shoulders parallel. So not necessarily side bending, but translating as you hula hoop around, and then switch directions. Okay, and as you're doing this, I just want you to just notice what your neck is doing. So as you move around, your neck helps counterbalance. Okay, so our head and our tail are always working together so that we don't lose our balance. We don't tip forward, we don't fall over, we don't fall off to the side. So just noticing how your neck is hopefully working with you here. Okay, good. And then we're going to come back to the center. We're going to bring arms out into a T. You're going to lean forward. If you need hands on the lap, you can keep them on the lap. You're going to lean forward, either with a hip hinge, seated or standing. And then you're going to come back almost as if like someone just punched you in the chest. And you're going to round your back and push back towards the back of your chair or the wall behind you. Yep. Pull the chest forward, find a hip hinge forward. And then as if someone just got you in the chest, round your back and pull back like slow motion. There we go. Pull the chest forward, hip hinge forward. I realize that being punched in the chest is probably not the best cue, but I can't think of a better one now at the moment, but you're all doing great. You know what I mean. Rounding to lean back and then pulling to lean forward. Round to come back. Pull to come forward. Yeah. And then can you start to make that more fluid, more flowy? So you come right from one into the other, almost like there's a wave-like motion coming through your body. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Yeah, and arms are just kind of out to the side, flowing with you, moving out to the side, and then moving forward. Let's do two more. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. And coming back up. And we'll just find a few shoulder circle rolls there. Awesome. Nice work, everybody. Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple different variations for this one. For my seated athletes, I'm going to have you, we're just going to do a seated hinged forward rotation. So I'm just going to have you lean forward. Hands can be on the knees here. Left hand is going to reach up towards the sky. This right hand can either stay on the lap or it can come towards the floor. Okay, so whatever makes the most sense for you. Reaching that hand up and then coming back to the center and just rotating. And this hand on my lap is giving me a little bit, it's not just supporting me, but it's helping me rotate. It's kind of pushing into my leg to help me rotate a little bit more, okay? And for standing athletes, doing the same thing. So you're gonna come, actually I'll stay facing you, into this position. So this like coaching ready position, knees are bent, my hands are on my knees, and I'm doing the same thing. Reaching one arm up, letting that other elbow kind of flare out to the side. There we go, nice. And then back to the center and then switching sides. Okay, good, that looks good, everybody. Can we find an inhale to rotate and an exhale center? Inhale, rotate, exhale, center. And I want your eyes to go, your eyes and your nose to point up towards that upwards hand. Okay, so what's the furthest thing? If you can see your finger, can you maybe even look past your finger? Can you look even more? Can you strain your eyes a little bit more to the side? Yeah, let's do 4 more. Reaching. Inhale to rotate. Exhale, center. Last one. Inhale and exhale. And then we'll sit ourselves back up. Awesome. Nice work, everybody. Cool. Okay. Let's do a little bit of vestibular work here. So I'm going to have, let's go, sorry, I'm just deciding which one because I want us all to be on the same page here. Let's stay with the circles for today. So hands are going to cross over the chest. For folks who are seated, you're just going to be finding a circling of your head and your shoulders around your hips. Okay, so the quicker and the bigger you go, and the bigger the head movement is with that, the harder this is going to be for your vestibular system. Okay, so circling around the knees, doing an even number of circles in one direction, and then an even number of circles in the other direction. For folks in a manual or power chair, if you want to bring that into a spin, you can do that too. If you want to bring that into a spin as your head is rolling around your neck, you can also do that too if you want to make that more intense. For standing athletes, you can spin yourself from a standing position. Remember, again, the faster you go, the harder it gets. And also as a reminder for all of this, I want your eyes to be moving with your head. So we're not doing that, what do you call them? Not speed skaters, figure skaters. We're not doing what figure skaters do where they lock their eyes on one thing as they spin. We're bringing our eyes with us so that we're basically giving our vestibular system a workout. Yeah. And then just make sure you do an even number of circles in each direction. Whoa, I just got dizzy there. Okay, so move slow, listen to your body. If you need to take a break, take a break. If you need to do this in a doorway or somewhere where you can lean against a wall, that's a bit safer for you. then make sure you do that too. Okay. Once you've done, yeah, that looks really good, everybody. I love the variations. Once you've done an even number of circles in each direction, let's just close the eyes. We'll just let the body reset here for a minute. You can grab some water if you need to. Okay, and then we'll open the eyes. Good. That one made me really dizzy. I clearly went too big on those circles. Okay, let's find one last heavy roll down. So let your chin tuck into your chest, rolling yourself down. Take an inhale at the bottom. Exhale, roll yourself up. Yeah, we'll close the eyes. And then again, just start by finding your breath. And see if you can imagine how much space and volume your lungs take up in your chest. Again, I know that's hard to imagine maybe anatomically, but just imagining your breath filling up your whole torso. Can you feel your breath into your low back, into your low belly? And then imagine how much space your body is taking up in your room right now. And then the barrier your skin creates from your body to the outside world. And then can you imagine the space that you're in? How far are the walls from you? Can you imagine where the windows are, or can you even sense the light from the windows? And then can you feel the floor under you, the chair under you, the chair behind you? Go ahead and think of one thing you're grateful for today. We'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. Awesome. Thanks so much for joining today, everyone. I hope that vestibular work didn't set anybody off too much. I sometimes realize as I'm demonstrating that I'm doing too much. All right. Well, hey, have a great